All right, Khan. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashim, Hamashiach, wa Malak Yahushua, for giving us the spirit and power to do this lesson. Right? We're on the other page because we're dealing with this update, dealing with this new variant. Right? So we're going to do it to the best of our ability. We're going to keep you updated dealing with this maddemic, right? Showing you how it's all lies and propaganda, and ultimately showing you how close it is to we are to the end, right? To receiving our kingdom, right? As promised, right? So the three main focuses that brothers is dealing with topics, right, is this pandemic, right? The wars that's going on around the world, and the laws that they're passing behind your back, while you looking the other way. That's what we're dealing with, man. Right? This is what the objective of the Watchmen. Right? So let's get before I want to pull up this article before we get into the lesson, right? But before that, let's get Ezekiel 33, and we're gonna start at 1. Ezekiel 33. Pull this up. I can just pull this up while you going to that. So hey, the thing at the end of the day, if you already got this shot, then you safe, right? You safe from this so-called pandemic. So you got to ask yourself, why are they trying to force everybody to get it, right? If people want to die, let them die. We overpopulated anyway, let them say. So why not just let them die, man? Right? We know it's deeper than that. They want you to comply. All right, so go ahead when you got that. I'm going to pull this up.
God, this is Ezekiel 33, verse 1. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak unto the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon the land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman.
Right. So set him for their watchman. That goes into whoever you watch. Hey, you have set that man up to be your watchman at the end of the day. Go ahead.
Verse 3. If when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he bloweth the trumpet and warn the people.
Right. Then, so the sword in this situation, this lesson, the topic of this lesson, a sword is dealing with this chemical warfare that they're proclaiming on the world, on the masses of the people. Right. So it's our job to come out with these lessons, these articles, and warn the people. First, that it's all lies. It's enchantments and sorcery. Right. And we're going to get that in a second, but keep going.
Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head.
Right. It's all on you. You did it to yourself because you didn't take heed to these warnings. Right. Sometimes it's best to just sit down and listen. Right. Sometimes, you understand this. Demons are so powerful and they're so on beat that they're going to tap into your mind when you need to watch a lesson that you need to watch. Demons are tapping your mind and tell you not to watch that. They'll take you to a more interesting lesson somewhere else that ain't got nothing to do with your salvation. Right? But go ahead.
Verse 5. He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning. His blood shall be upon him.
Right.
But he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul.
And that's what we're trying to do, man. Us brothers, we're trying to help you deliver your soul, right? And our own, first and foremost, right? But I think that's it, right? Okay. So, man, at the end of the day, if we looking at this, like I said, I'm going to bring up these two articles first before we get into the lesson, right? So this new Omarion variant, right? It was established. They said that it came about December 1st of this year. We're still in December. And they're saying right here, if you look at this, they're saying 800,000 Americans have died of this already. Bro, that is sorcery and enchantments. Why is it sorcery and enchantments? It's bewitching you to believe that people are dying at this high rate so that you can take this. That's what it all goes back to, man. They're saying 800,000 people have died since December 1st, have died from this new Omicron, right? And then they give you a map on the states that it's hitting. Basically, they're giving you a map on the states that they're going to target first, right? Right. So this is where the new Omicron is supposed to be spreading in the United States of America. in these states, right? All the big states like California, Texas, New York, Florida. These are the Chicago. These are the big places that they're going to target first because these is where all the masses of the people is, especially Texas and California and Florida and New York. These are the places that they're targeting as of now, that they're saying that these places are spreading, right? And if you scroll down, it tell you where it was first spotted. These are the places where it was first spotted, right? Now we're dealing with countries, right? North America, South America, you got all the way down here. You got over here in Asia and Europe, all of these different places. They're saying that this is where this variant came from. And it so happened it's spiking in America to where 800,000 people have died. And what? Today is what? It's not even a 20th. And already 800 people then died less than 20 days. Like, bruh, don't be bewitched by these sorceries and these enchantments, right? So what I want to do is I want to pull up sorceries and enchantments, right? Get that that second Thessalonians 2:8. But look, this is enchantments. When I say enchantments, this is what it's meaning, right? So it says act of magic or witchcraft. If you think that this is not an act of magic and witchcraft, then you fooling yourself, because at the end of the day, they're lying to you, saying that it's more than what it is, and they're scaring you by this objective. They're bewitching you to make you think if you don't take this, you're gonna die. When that's not facts. The Most High gives the issues of death. He determines who's gonna die, right? And that's just what it is, right? And it's so bad to the point where this is like the fifth strand, I believe it is, right? This is like the fifth strand. So where is Delta? Where is the first one? Where is the third one? Where is all these other ones? They just disappeared. Now we're dealing with Omicron, and Omicron is the worst. Now they're saying that this new Omicron, it's so bad, the virus is so bad that you can still catch it even though you got poison. You got the poison, you got the shot. This is total enchantment and witchcraft, man, and sorcery, right? So it says act of magic or witchcraft, use of magic. But what I seen in this that caught my attention is this: bewitch. That means you being tricked. You got bewitched. Like I say, she bewitched me. She tricked me. So this is what they're doing. That's what these enchantments is. That's what these are, enchantments. 800,000 people then died in less than 20 days. That's an enchantment, right? And the masses are following it, right? Now, they also have this right here, right? And you're going to see why I'm getting into this, because hey, at the end of the day, in America, the mandatory didn't already started, man. It had already started. Believe it or not, man. It's going to be in a hood near you by the same time right now, next year, everything's going to be mandatory, man. Believe it or not. You ain't got to believe it. All right. This is that dark winter that they're talking about. And when you heard Biden say that we're into a dark winter, that was code for operating. Only thing I do is Google dark, whole option behind it. You'd be like, damn, he just said dark winter, but there's literally a whole operation in bills that's passed to continue forth in that operation, right? It's called Operation Dark Winter. That's why Biden said we are entering into a dark winter. He was letting everybody know, right? But more than 100 U.S. Marines and 6 Army leaders were relieved of duty for refusing the poison, right? So they letting people go, man. If they take it this far where they're releasing their own, soldiers, hey, it says leaders. It says 6 Army leaders. And if you keep reading, it says colonels, sergeants, generals, man, they was all getting released because they didn't want to take this. So how much more you? They not going to play no games with you in this small business. You work at McDonald's, restaurant, you probably got your own contracting business. Hey, if you don't conform and comply, you're going to lose all of that. So the big question is, are you ready to lose all of that? Now, let's get some precepts right quick before we get into the lesson. Right? So let's get 2 Thessalonians 2:8 right quick.
God, this is 2 Thessalonians.
Sure. Matter of fact, go ahead, read that.
This is 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Right. So it said that the Lord is going to destroy them with the words of his mouth. Well, we know the Lord is not down here actually doing this, right? So what is it talking about? It's talking about the men that he has set up to expose these lies, these enchantments, these sorceries, right? 800,000 people in less than 20 days, man. that's beyond crazy, right? But people are believing it. So that means that these people are being bewitched. They're falling for this sorcery, this magic, this witchcraft, right? Like the scriptures say they would. And we about to get that, right? So this wicked man is being revealed by the sword of the word of the Lord's mouth, which is his prophets. Now let's get that right quick in 2nd Ezra 15. And it says, and it finished it off by saying, with the brightness of his coming. So it's going to be finished off with Yahushua is coming, right? Return, his second return.
All right. This is 2nd Ezra 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy.
Hey, so at the end of the day, that's who we talking to. We're not talking to the heathen, man. Now, if the heathen want to listen, fine. But we're more so focused on our people to let them know that this is sorcery and witchcraft and enchantments, man. Like the ancient Romans, they had a saying. They said, if you want to distract the people, use magic and sorcery. That's a real saying in the ancient Roman Empire. So you think they're not using that still? They said in order to distract the people, you have to use magic. Straight up, man. But go ahead.
Which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true.
Right. So he's talking to Ezra. Ezra's our forefather, so we're going to read these same things. We're going to bring the same things out. The same thing that's written, we're going to bring it out. But he says that I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord. So he said it's his words, but he's going to put it in your mouth. Like he told Ezekiel. Let's get that right quick. Ezekiel chapter 2. Ezekiel chapter 3 and 9. Salakia. All right. It goes into wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right. Ezekiel 3 and 9. 2 and 9. Salakia.
This is Ezekiel 2, verse 9. And when I looked, behold, an hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein.
Let's start at let's get a little bit more context. Let's start at 8.
Verse 8. But thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be not thou rebellious like that rebellious house. Open thy mouth and eat that I give thee.
Right. So he's telling Ezekiel, don't be like the rest of the Israelites. Basically, the 2/3, the ones that's taking this poison, right? That ones that's wandering after the beast. The Lord told Ezekiel, don't be like this rebellious house. He said, open your mouth and eat this. That means take this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that I'm trying to give you. Right? Go ahead.
And when I looked, behold, an hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein.
All right, so he told him to eat this book. You don't really eat a book. It's talking about the understanding in the book, right? The knowledge in the book, the wisdom in the book. He says, eat it, grab it, right? Go ahead.
And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without. And there was written therein, lamentations and mourning and woe.
Straight up, man. And that's what we bring it out, right? There's plenty of lessons to go over: faith, diligence, love, of course. But this book is filled with lamentations, mournings, and woes, which is coming to a country near you, man. All countries are going to have to experience this, man. But America's going to get it the worst. And a lot of you that watch these videos are in America, right? So, hey, eat this roll, man. So let's go back to 2nd Ezra.
This is 2nd Ezra 15. You want to start back at 1? Or
you can start at 2.
All right. Verse 2. And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee.
Right. So this is what we're dealing with right now. He says, fear not the imaginations against you, like you being homeless, right? Like them coming in, you know, brothers have thoughts like, am I going to die? Is my wife and children going to die in this? The Lord says not to fear those kind of things. He says, nor the incredulity of them. Read it again.
It says, "Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee."
That speak against us. That's what they're doing. They're speaking against us. Whether because that's what it's all about, man. It's about the half and the half nots. It's about the unvaccinated versus the vaccinated. That's what it's all about. That's why these 100 Marines and Army leaders are getting relieved, right? They're going to be like the rest of the people, man. Versus the ones who took it, bro. That's only 100. I think they said 103 tops, and 6 Army leaders have been relieved. So everybody else took it. So they have everybody they need already, right? It's time to start cracking down, right? Starting with New York, right? But you had some.
I'm gonna bring this one out real quick. Isaiah 47 verse 12. It says, "Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit. If so be thou mayest prevail." So this going into Babylon, which we understand is where we are today, and they were founded on enchantments and sorceries. So this ain't nothing new.
Hey, start at verse 1.
All right, this is Isaiah 47 verse 1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground."
It says virgin daughter of Babylon, not the actual Babylonian Empire, right? The Hamites. It's talking about the daughter of Babylon, this place, like the brother was going over. And then in verse 12, you read down in verse 12, he says, stand with your enchantments. He's like, y'all do them. Do everything you need to do, man. Right? Because when the Lord come, it ain't gonna be nothing they can do about it. The Lord he's gonna expose and deteriorate all of that agenda that they have tried to be successful in their youth up, like we just read, right? But I want you to read that one more time, verse 12, because it was something he said at the last. He says, "Hey, if you can do it, do it."
God,
right?
says,
That's the Lord. That's the Lord being rhetorical, letting them know, like, "Hey, do whatever you need to do, but when I come, it's over." Go ahead.
"Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit. If so be thou mayest prevail."
Hey, he said, if you can profit off of it and you can prevail, which is succeed, he said, go ahead and do it. So this is the Lord being rhetorical, right? He's telling Esau, hey, do whatever you need to do to get where you need to be, right? Didn't he say he was going to let him get his nest on high? Then will he bring thee down, said the Lord. Lord said, get as high as you need, get as many people as you can, right? Then he gonna bring them down to the ground, right? So now, hey, and that's crazy that you had that, because that was the next precept. Now let's get a precept for that. Let's go to Revelations 18 and 23 just to prove it, because we know Revelation 17 and 18 deals with America, man, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, right?
This is Revelation 18, verse 3. "For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her."
Hey, that's why you have Slovakia. That's why you have China. China just issued that they're in a new world order also. They're doing it a little different, but it's still a new world order, right? Australia, new world order. America, Bush proclaimed new world order when he was the president. So all it says, all of these nations had came together. Read it one more time, Salaki. I don't want to slaughter it.
"For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth,"
oppressing the Israelites, right? The wine of the wrath of her fornication. That's talking about, if you read Revelations chapter 16, that's talking about the Lord's anger and what he's going to do. He's going to turn America into a third world country, right? And it's even far greater, worse than that. We can't explain how bad the Lord is about to do America, man, to the point where it kind of gets to us wondering if we're going to survive, because that's what Ezra said, who shall survive in those days? But the Lord told us in 2 Ezra 15, don't be afraid of the imaginations against you. All right, I'm going to tear shit up, but you don't be afraid. All right, go ahead.
"And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies."
Right.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people.
No, Revelations 18:23.
20. Oh, sorry.
But that's good. It went perfectly. All praises through the Spirit.
This is Revelation 18, verse 23. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee.
Right. And this is what we're looking at. The light of this candle. This light is going out. Right. Their light goes into their wisdom. Their light is going out. Right. They're being exposed for these things. We see that this is all a joke, man. It's all a joke to their new agenda. And the fact that we know this, they lost already. Right. But this is why he's going to come down with this great wrath. You get mad as hell when you're trying to trick somebody and it don't work. You get mad. You like, to hell with it. Let's just go in, bum rush them, and make them do it. And that's what we're about to see, man. Right? It's going to be Egypt versus Egypt. Right? Go ahead.
And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee.
Right. All that marriage and giving into marriage, drinking, eating, drinking, marriage, and giving into marriage, all that is going to be finished pretty soon, man. You're not going to be able to, you're going to barely be able to go outside, man. Right? And like I said, New York is already mandatory, and we about to show you. Right? Go ahead, though.
For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived.
Hey, by thy sorcery. Now, let's look up the word sorcery. Let's go into sorcery. Let's deal with this in the same context of the verse. Sorcery, right? One second. Hey, this is a beautiful sight to see. Sometimes it don't seem like it, but it's a beautiful sight to see. We finally get to see their kingdom fall right before our eyes. Get that for me while I'm getting this, King. And Sirach 25, the downfall of his enemy. It's a beautiful thing to see, man, to see them actually falling right before our eyes. It tells you in Matthew chapter 13 that it says the prophets of old would desire to see what you see, man. So you should rejoice for them, right? Even though some of them are still, they back, but at the end of the day, you should rejoice for them, for the ones that's not here. Go ahead whenever you got it.
All right. This is Sirach 25. You wanted, let's see.
The downfall of his enemies. I think it's like 7.
God, yeah. Sirach 25, verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy.
This should make you happy like it made our forefather Ezra happy. Or Sirach, Salakia. That's what he said. Hey, there be 7 things I judge in my heart to be happy. And one of them, the main one, is the downfall of his enemies, man. They are enemies, and you should be rejoicing to see their downfall. You should actually, if you with somebody or you're alone, you should actually toast to see the downfall of this kingdom, man. Right? Because you can Google like the how the Roman Empire fell. This is the same way it's falling, man. The economy collapsed. They allow women to be leaders in their community. Right? These are the beginning of a collapse. Right? But dealing with this, read that Revelations 18:23 one more time so we can get back on track.
This is Revelation 18, verse 23. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived.
All right, so by thy sorceries will all nations deceive. Sorcery goes into witchcraft, right? Sorcery, witchcraft. Look what it says. The use or the administering of drugs, right? Cocaine, heroin, right? They even turning weed into a drug by making it even more potent than what the Lord created it to be, right? This is how the people stay docile too, because one thing for sure, a lot of people not coming back to God because they want to continue in these drugs and they know America supplies it. So that creates love for America, right? So this is one of them, the administering of drugs. And then you have poison, right? What kind of poison? What do we call poison? Why do we say, brother, did you take the poison? It's talking about these shots, man. This is poison, right? Now, let's see how this is poison, right? So this is the definition of Maxine, right? And it's crazy. I think I brought this out before, but it's don't hurt to bring it out again. So it says, for the technique he publicized of preventing smallpox by injecting people with a similar but much milder cowpox virus. So in order to get rid of smallpox, he injects you with cowpox. That's poison. Cowpox is poison. Where in the Bible does it the Lord allows this, right? For you to inject yourself with an animal's cells, right? It says pertaining to cows, from cows, right? It says from cows, it says a word of uncertain origin, a mild case of cowpox rendered one immune thereafter to smallpox. It says the use of the term for diseases other than smallpox is due to the posture, right? So at the end of the day, what they're telling you is they're using a poison to fight a poison. So whatever this so-called pandemic, whatever, let's say it is a big, horrible disease, well, they're injecting that same disease in you to make you immune to it. So like, what is that about? What did the Lord say? Right? This is supposed to be a God-fearing country, right? In God we trust on the back of the dollar. So why ain't you making it mandatory for everyone to pray? Why ain't you doing that? Make it mandatory that everybody pray for answers from the Most High God. No, that's not what it's about, man. If you think that this is a God-fearing nation, you lost. You lost the battle already, man. Straight up. They're injecting you with poison. And that's just what it is. Now, if you want to go forth through that and allow them to do that, then that's your decision, man. Right? You'll be part of that. They wondered after the beast in Revelation. Right? And when it says they wondered after the beast, they complied. They bowed down to the beast, the system. Right? And this is part of their system, saying that you have to get a mandatory vaccine in order to live in their society. Right? And like I said earlier, if you got the shot, you safe already. You're safe already. Let the people who don't want to live, let them die. Let them die then. They not listening. They don't even need to be here then, according to your understanding of it. Right? But that's not what it's about. Now, let me pull this up also. Check this out. And I've seen a video, but I'm actually pulling it up on Google. But they tell you can still, according to them and their scientific studies, right? If you already have the poison, the booster and everything, you can still catch this new Omicron, right? They're saying that this new Omicron is not going to do nothing for, the new Omicron that's out, the shot is not going to do nothing for you. Straight up. And I actually had a video. I should have pulled up the video, but it's all good. They got videos of scientists, these mad scientists, actually explaining how you can still catch it if you got the shot, you got the poison. Like, what the hell is that about? Right? Omicron can still affect you even if you are vaccinated. Right? And it says a scientist at a West African Center for Cell Biology Pathogen, University of Ghana, Dr. Yao Bediako, has explained that the new variant, Omicron, is able to break through that vaccines that are in the system. right? And you know America about to eat this up. They're like, oh yeah, that's facts right there. That's facts. You don't even have to go into it. That's facts right there. Straight up. Best believe that America is the one who got them to say that, man. Right? Straight up, man. So now let's continue, right? Because what we see, the Lord is using his men to expose these lies, right? To show you how it's all planned and it's all going into a deeper meaning, man. Right? So saying that to saying that these things are going to backfire, right? Get Job chapter 5 and 12 right quick. Kind of shooting off the hip now. Get Job chapter 5 and 12. Can you hear me out?
God, I got you.
Hey, because what they're doing is, while he getting that, what they're doing, they're threatening you. They're making threats. Honestly, that's what they're doing. They're telling you, if you don't have this, if you can't provide proof of you being vaccinated, then you ain't eating their food. You're not going to their places of business, right? You're not performing in their movies, right? You're not going to be on their TV shows. You're not going to be in their educational systems. This is what they're doing. They're threatening you. You just don't see it. Right. And Biden, I can pull that video up. Biden said they're tired of being impatient, patient with you. That's what he said. You can look these things up. This man said he's tired of being patient with you. All right. Go ahead.
This is Job 5, verse 12. He disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise.
Right. So this is the Most High. This is what he's going to do. They're not going to be successful in what they're doing at the end of the day. Their enterprise, that goes into success. He says they're not going to be successful, right? And this is what's going to make him come down with that great wrath. Go to Revelations 12 and 12. This is what's going to make them come down with that great wrath, man. Because he know his time is short. He like, man, this shit ain't working. It's not working.
This is Revelation 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time.
Right. And he ain't coming down to just anybody. He's not coming down on the ones as of now. He's not coming down on the ones that's taking this poison. He's coming down on the ones that doesn't. That's why you had the Census Bureau coming through trying to get names on how many people was in the house, because they want to know who's vaccinated and who's not, right? So they can know who to come down on. If that house ain't vaccinated, hey, they just gonna kick in your door and come get you out of there, whether they just cast you out of your house or whether they take you to a concentration camp, right? What they call a FEMA camp, right? So he's coming down with great wrath because he know he got but a short time, right? He's coming down on the ones whose conscience, let's just use that, because it's not just the Israelites, man. He's coming down on conscience community, Kemet, Egyptology. He's coming down on all of them, man. The Moors, because those brothers and sisters are conscience. They have a sense of something, right? Esau wants straight docile people, right? That's what John D. Rockefeller said. He said he don't want a nation of thinkers. He want a nation of workers. Right? Straight up, man. Now, let's get Isaiah 59 and 19 right quick. Hey, because it's nothing we have to be afraid of, right? The Lord already told us that in 2nd Ezra chapter 15, right? We're not supposed to be afraid of this. We're supposed to rejoice.
This is Isaiah 59, verse 18. According to their... Hold
on, let me see. Yeah, you can start at 18. That's cool.
According to their deeds, accordingly he will repay fury to his adversaries, recompense to his enemies. To the islands he will repay recompense.
So what islands? What is it talking about? It's talking about the isles of the Gentiles, all the heathens. He says he's going to repay them according to their ways, man. That's what we're looking at. All right, go ahead.
So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of
Right.
the Lord shall lift up a standard against him.
Hey, so this is Revelation. This is the precept for Revelations 12 and 12. He said, when the enemy, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 68, right? You shall be sold unto your enemies. It says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, right? And I always go over this. When a flood comes, it comes in strong, fast and strong, right? It says, when he come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. That means this is the time of miracles where the Lord is going to come through like he said he was for his people, right? And not just his people. We talking about his elect people, right? Israel is the elect as a nation, but there's an elect within the elect. Straight up. You got something, King?
Nah.
All right, Con. So let's get Isaiah chapter 19, since we already in Isaiah 19 and 2. All right, because so now we're gonna go into how with this, with these different strands, what it's doing is separating the men from the boys, man. The half and the half nots, right? Straight up.
This is Isaiah 19, verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor.
All right, so we looking at this like, wait, Americans ain't Egyptians. Americans are Americans, right? I thought America was Babylon, but no, America is called Egyptians also. Go to Revelations 11 and 8 right quick, just to prove that, because we know it's talking about Babylon the Great, mostly in the book of Revelation. Man. It gives us past, present, and future in Revelation, right? So when it's talking about the Egyptian, it was talking about the physical Egyptians, and it's talking about the modern day Egyptians, which is the Americans, right? Because America is a big ass corporation, right? Just like Egypt was a big ass corporation. That's why everybody went to Egypt for help, right? Whether it's financial, right? Whether it was to build, whatever it was, they went to Egypt, right?
This is Revelation 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
Hey, so, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street, which is spiritually, not physically, is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Like, how can it be, if it was physical, how could it be Sodom and Egypt? No, it's spiritual because Sodom goes back to the homosexuality that America promotes on a crazy level. Like, bro, you can punch a gay person and you'll get an assault charge plus an extra 5-year charge just because they label it a hate crime because he's gay.
Crafty.
That's crazy. So that's letting you know to don't mess with these gays, man. We want this. We're promoting it. We should be stoning the hell out of faggots. I thought y'all was a God-fearing country, right? So it says spiritually called Sodom, and the Egypt goes into the slavery, right? That's why you slave for that American dollar. That's why it's a pyramid on the back of that American dollar, right? It's spiritually Sodom and Egypt, homosexuality and slavery, man. That's what this whole place is about, man. Defiled, right?
I got a precept.
Go ahead.
All right, this is Isaiah 30, verse 1. It says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. And that's exactly what it is, confusion. You putting your trust in this system, and it's going to be your downfall, straight up.
So, hey, like the brother said, that's going to be your downfall. You know how much Isaiah, Ezekiel, and Jeremiah speaks about Egypt, man? Like Israel, we made Egypt our God. Like real talk, man. We made Egypt our God. Even Americans make Egypt their God. Did you not know that when you deal with emojis on your phone, that's going back to the hieroglyphics that they had on the walls? They take all of that stuff and they bring it here and they want you to worship it. And people do. Some people can't do nothing without using emojis on their phone, man. When they texting somebody, they got to use emojis every single time, man. That's why when you text somebody, you can hold down that message and there's a whole bunch of emojis. They want you to just constantly use it. It goes back to the hieroglyphics, man. Straight up. Now, let's go to the next chapter. Let's go to Isaiah 31 and start at 1.
This is Isaiah 31, verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many.
Right.
And in
America,
horses.
because they are many. They got tanks. They got aircraft. They got the USS Gerald R. Ford, right? The one of the biggest ships in the sea that can do a damn death spin. They can turn around faster than a 600-pound man can turn around. Like, and then they got the US Sea Wolf, right? It's an underground submarine that can literally jump out the water. That's what our people trust in. When they see that kind of stuff, they're like, oh yeah, ain't nobody fucking with America. Nobody. Right? This is them wandering after the beast, though. But go ahead.
And trust in chariots because there are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong.
Right.
But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord.
And that's why our people are going to those damn vaccination centers and getting the poison, man, because they trust in that instead of the Holy One of Israel, their God, their maker. And I'll always bring that out in Job, man. Matter of fact, let's just get it. Job 35 and 9, man. And the Lord said he will not hear vanity, man. All right, because they're going to wait till it's too late to try to call on the Most High God, but it's too late, man. When they see that Esau can't help them, they're going to try to turn to God, but it's too late. Because Esau don't even know what the hell to do right now, right? Esau's plan is backfiring on him. Just because you don't see it, they see it. They see it. That's why they like, oh yeah, this new Omicron, you can still catch it if you got all the poison, you got all the shots. Like, what the hell is the point of getting the shots then if you're gonna come a year later and tell us that you can still catch it? That's crazy. Go ahead.
This is Job 35, verse 9. By reason of the multitude of oppressions, they make the oppressed to cry.
All right.
They cry
and
out
that
by
goes
reason.
into not just the nation of Israel. That goes to him being a devil oppressing his own people too, right? Because you got Edomites out there protesting with those signs, wrecking up shit. All right, go ahead.
They cry out by reason of the arm of the mighty.
All right. Who is the arm of the mighty in this situation? Esau. He's the one distributing the poison, right? And I just did some research the other day, right? How America is the one who supplied South Africa with the Pfizer and the Moderna and the Johnson and Johnson, right? So what the African president did is he took a test and he tested it on a goat and he tested it on some fruit, and guess what? It came back. The fruit had COVID. The fruit had it, which means every time you take that test, they already got it planned if you got it or not. Basically, that's sorcery and witchcraft. Some fruit come back and they got it. Just like the same thing with the DNA test, man. They did DNA test on a dog and it came back Native American. It's all propaganda. It's all a game. All right. Go ahead, King.
Verse 10. But none saith, where is God, my maker, who giveth songs in the night?
There you have it. This is the main thing, the main part that they forgetting. It says, but none said, where is God, my maker? You don't see people in the streets, the nation of Israel in the streets crying out to the Most High God, man. You don't hear that, right? And this is all for scourges and amendment. The things that's about to happen on earth is for scourges and amendment, but they not going to repent. It tells you that in Revelations 18. It says, through all of the stuff, they refuse to repent, right? But this is 2nd Ezra chapter 16. This is a quick precept. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and 19. I'm going to start at 18. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. So even the powers are going to be in fear because they're not going to know how to handle the situations that's at hand, right? It says the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? This is Ezra. Woe is me. Ezra is afraid in this vision he's seeing. It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation. That's something we all have to look forward to, is tribulation in Jacob's trouble, right? The day of the Lord's wrath. It says, in anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. You know what amendment is? Changes. So the Lord is sending this because he wants you to change, but a lot of people are not going to change. They still not going to change. They ain't even going to know why it's happening, right? Let's keep going. It says, for verse 20, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be mindful of the scourges. They're not going to be mindful of why it's happening to them. They're not going to understand why it's happening to them. They just going to be getting their ass towed up, man, by the Lord, right? And they're going to be looking for Esau for answers, and Esau ain't got them, right? But continue on that.
Oh, quick precept, real quick.
Go
Lamentations 4:17. As for us, our eyes is yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that cannot save us.
Woo-hoo. Yeah.
So if you're not abiding in the shadow of the Most High, He's gonna hand you over to whatever they have available.
Hey,
and it's not good.
Whatever they have planned. Go ahead, King Salakia.
That's it,
Bro, it says they look for a nation that cannot save them, man. That's what our people do. That's why it says, woe unto you that go down to Egypt for help. They can't save you. Only the Most High can save you. If you want to know how to survive on earth, you have to go to the one that created it. Straight up, man. Get that.
all right. This is Job 35 verse. I'm gonna start back at 10. 35 verse 10.
Hey, Salakia, like a damn bunk bed. If you want to know how to, like, if you buy a bunk bed from Amazon, if you want to know how to make it, you have to go back to the guide on who made it. That's simple. What's our guide? These scriptures, man. That's our guide, man. It tells you that in 2nd Ezra 16. He says, in a guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, said the Lord. Well, go ahead.
But none saith, where is God my maker, who giveth songs in the night, who teacheth us more than the beasts of the earth,
right?
And
Adam,
maketh
Lord
us
of all thy creatures. Go ahead.
And maketh us wiser than the fowls of heaven.
All right, Adam, Lord of all thy creature. He made us wise over them. He made us lords over them. Go ahead.
There they cry, but none giveth answer, because of the pride of evil men.
That's why. It's all because they don't want to leave their sins, their wickedness. They want to stay in a society, so they're going to hold on to whoever is in control of the society. They're going to look for them for help, a nation that can't save them. Because at the end of the day, it's the Most High who's sending these plagues, right? It's the Most High. And when I say plagues, Esau is the plague. Esau is the one who's sending this, right? Quick precept. Let me get it right quick. Quick precept, just to prove that. Right, so this is Proverbs 16:4. Proverbs 16:4. It says, the Lord hath made all things for himself. Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. So this can be the plague also that it's talking about sending Esau with this fake propaganda and all that. It's all the Lord pushing forth his agenda because he's tired of waiting. All right, go ahead.
Job 35 verse 13. Surely God will not hear vanity, neither will the Almighty regard it.
Straight up, man. Straight up. The Lord said he's not going to hear vanity and he's not going to regard it, man. So all that living it up, all that, man, you better be ready to get judged for that, man. All right? It tells you in Ecclesiastes chapter 11, he says, hey, all the stuff you want to do, go do it. But you better consider there's going to be judgment for it. You best consider that. Straight up, man. You're not going to be able to run from the wickedness that you did. Think you're just going to come into this truth at the last second, man. Repentance is a way of life. When Yahweh Shah said repent, when you first heard repent for the kingdom is at hand, that's when your grace period begins, man. Straight up, right? So now that we got that, we got the context of this, us getting these precepts is Isaiah 19, where the Lord said, I'm going to pin the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Straight up. So now Where was we at? We was at Isaiah 31.
Okay.
And just keep reading.
All right, this is Isaiah 31, verse 2. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words.
Right? This is the Lord speaking. Go ahead.
But will arise against
look, that's perfect, because what we just read in Proverbs 16:4, it says he made the wicked for the day of evil. So when it says, yeah, he also is wise and will bring evil, which is the wicked, and will not call back his words. I mean, he's not going to bring Esau back, right? Esau is going to continue to go forth with his plan. He's not just going to stop and everything goes back to normal. This damn pandemic is not just going to be over and everything's going back to normal. That's not how this is going. This ain't no damn movie, man. Go ahead.
But will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity.
Ooh-wee. Go ahead.
Now the Egyptians are men and not God.
Right?
And
they are men and not God. Understand that. And when it's talking about the Egyptians, it's talking about the modern day Egyptians, the Americans. The Egyptians that was in Egypt, they ain't even in their homeland. So it's not talking about them. Esau over there in there. Look up the Diadochi dynasty. It's Esau in their homeland. All right, go ahead.
And their horse is flesh and not spirit.
All right.
When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fail together.
He says anybody that even try to help the Egyptians is gonna fall, which is America. Right? All nations have drunk of the wine and the wrath of her fornication, trying to help them. And you can help just by simply taking this poison and issuing it to your people too. That's you helping put forth the new world order. Go ahead.
Verse 4. For thus have the Lord spoken unto me, like as the lion and the young lion roaring on his prey. When a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him, he will not be afraid of their voice, nor abase himself for the noise of them. So shall the Lord of hosts come down to fight for Mount Zion and for the hill thereof.
So the Lord is coming back to fight. Even if you heard a lion and a young lion, the Lord said, I'm still coming. Right? All that nuclear weapon, all that, they got the laser guns now. The Lord said, I'm still coming to get my people, man. And we're not talking about the whole nation of Israel. We're talking about the elect within the elect, man. Straight up. It says the elect was, but the rest were blinded, roughly paraphrasing. He says, but the election have obtained it, but the rest are blinded. Right? Straight up. So now let's go to Isaiah 19. Or we already read Isaiah 19. Let's get 2 Ezra 15 and 15, right? Because what I was proving that let me pull it back up. What I was proving dealing with this, giving people the ultimatum to take the poison or not is separating the men from the boys, is pinning people against each other. And they know that, man. Esau try to kill as many birds as he can with one stone, man. Esau know this. Order out of chaos. That's what Esau's objective is, man. Salakia. Right here. All right, so like I said, more than 100 U.S. Marines and 6 Army leaders were relieved of duty for refusing the poison. They refused it. All right, coming to a hood near you. Like I said, New York they already under complete proof. You got to have proof of vaccination, straight up. Go ahead. You got that?
All right, this is 2 Ezra 15, verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands.
Right, because some people are going to be like, hey, we ain't taking that, and you can't force us to do it. Right? So it's going to cause war, right? The have versus the have-nots. The vaccinated versus the unvaccinated. That's what it's all going to be about. Right? And ultimately, it's going to be the chipped versus the unchipped. The chipped are going to be looking for the ones that's unchipped, right? There's going to be rewards for you. So how much, hey, this is the buildup for it. This is what this poison is about. Like I always say, it gets deeper than just this poison, man. The Pentagon already brought that out, right? So we got a precept from Isaiah. We got one from Ezra. Now let's get one more in Ezra. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 13 and 31, right? Because one thing for sure, this war between the unchipped and the chipped, the unvaccinated and the vaccinated, and the Egyptians versus the Egyptians, it's going to happen all the way up until the coming in Yahweh Shah Mashiach, all the way, right? So get that right quick.
This is 2nd Ezra 13, verse 31. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another.
Straight up, man. And this is, if you read up from 29, 30 and 31, it's talking about Yahweh Shah's return. They're going to be fighting against Yahweh Shah, but they're going to already be fighting before Yahweh Shah return. Like I said, it's all the way up into Yahweh Shah's return. Right. And we just read that in Isaiah, Ezra, and 2 precepts in Ezra, Salakia. That's what we're looking at. Now, let's get into the lesson. Right. So the whole meaning of me doing this lesson is this right here. Right. So I seen this article where 4 people was arrested at New York Applebee's following demonstration over the poison at Cheesecake Factory. So they're demonstrating on these people. Basically, they're setting forth examples. Don't come into these places if you don't have the poison, right? Straight up. I want to read a little bit of this, though. I'm trying to have this pull up so I can go ahead and exit it. Right? So right here, let's read this. It says, officers responded to a call from a 25-year-old female at Applebee's at 9 p.m., in which the caller claimed that several individuals had entered the property and refused to leave the premises, according to the New York Police Department. So, hey, at the end of the day, they refuse to leave. We know why. Because they thinking that this is unfair. They like, I don't have to get that. This is what's going to separate the people. This is what's going to make them fight. The fact that they refuse to leave. And hey, it's even with the police. They're dropping like flies also because they don't want to take the poison. So Esau know what he's doing. You best believe that. So it says, according to the New York Police Department, it says officers gave several lawful orders to the group to leave the location, right? Which they refused. The NYPD told the Washington Examiner 4 protesters were placed under arrest without further incident at 21:51. It says hours after refusing to comply to a lawful order, right? This is a lawful order. If you don't have a poison, you can't go in there. Straight up, you have to leave. Because there's no reason for you to be in there if you don't have the poison, because you can't buy nothing anyway, right? It says the individuals were then charged with criminal trespassing. That's crazy right there. That's deeper than we're not talking about, bro. One thing for sure, we're looking at this on the through lenses, through the TV, through the social media. But bro, this is reality to these people in New York right now, man. And it's gonna be soon your reality. And just like some of y'all don't care because it's not happening to you. That's how the world gonna look at you, right? The world gonna, they're gonna be looking, other states. I mean, they're gonna be looking like, nobody's not saying that from other states. Nobody's defending us. Nothing. This is how you're going to be looking at it soon, but nobody's going to care, right? You're going to be just deserted. You're going to be out here, right? And there's a video on it where they acting crazy with him. Let me see if I can. So they're saying shame on you. So at the end of the day, it's a buildup, man. These people are going to start fighting, right? The police are going to be giving orders to, shoot like they did in New Orleans, man. Shoot on sight, right? Just to be demonstrations, just to set forth an example, right? But now that you got that, I want to get this. I believe it's this. No, it's not that. So they're starting to label, because people are, they're getting a hold of people getting these fake vaccination passes, right? Right. This is the government of New York, I believe. The governor of New York. It says, so we need the deterrence factor big time, said Kaminsky, who voted for a recently passed bill. The bill is passed already, authorized by State Senate Anna Kaplan, that makes falsifying, the poison pass records a new felony. Right. And this is going to be, they're going to get to the point where these are so big of a felony, these people are going to be afraid to make a fake one. So it's literally going to be down to you take it or you don't. You take the poison or you don't. You want to live in society or you don't. You want to wander after the beast or you want to follow the Most High. Right. And like I said, man, this is going to be your reality pretty soon. It says on top of existing laws punishing forgery and related crimes. So not only that they're making it a new felony, that says that they're going to add existing laws onto it, like forgery and related crimes. Straight up, this is not no game, man. They're really doing this, right? Increased penalties for phony vaccination passes, right? And they're working on this right now as we speak, man. Right now as we speak, they are working on this. Now, it's something else I wanted to pull up. I'm trying to find it. Damn, I think. Man, I was trying to find something. You got something out? While I look for this.
I'm gonna pull this out real quick.
Go ahead.
Let's see. All right, this is Nahum 3, verse 4. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will shew the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. So, about 50 years ago, it wasn't nothing bad you could say about the U.S., with the masses. Now you even got these Edomites, whistleblowers, speaking out against, and this is the sedition among men. You got these Edomites speaking against their own country.
God. Hey, speaking against their own country, man. That's what we're looking at. Right? When it go to that in Psalms where it says their own tongue shall fall upon themselves. Man, I was trying to find this. I thought I had it pulled up already where it was talking, like it was giving you restrictions on like how the whole state of New York is under mandatory vaccination, man, starting December 27th. Right, that's in a couple of days, man. The whole state of New York City will be under mandatory vaccination. The whole state, man. Pretty soon it's going to be this whole country by this time next year. Best believe that. You ain't got to believe that, honestly. Just keep laying down and waking up.
All right, this is Psalm 64, verse, we'll start at 7. But God shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away.
Hey, and that goes into whistleblowers. The Lord said he's going to make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All right, they're going to be telling on each other. Straight up. Like Gary Webb. Gary Webb is a man who exposed the CIA and their agenda, how they're the ones that's bringing in coke and all these drugs, because he was he used to work for them, the CIA, right? But he started to be against it. The spirit of the Most High was on him to expose them so prophecy can be fulfilled, right? Their own tongue falling upon themselves, and guess what? They killed Gary Webb, right? And they said he commits suicide but he had 2 gunshot wounds to his head. So he shot himself twice in the head. Bro, that's crazy. He shot himself twice in the head, right? I never heard that. I can't find it, man. But it was telling you how the whole state of New York, man, was December 27th was under. Matter of fact.
Another quick precept going into that is Isaiah 19 and 14. It says, the Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. So you got their own tongue falling upon themselves. And eventually, their whole situation, their whole plan is going to be spoiled.
Yeah. I already had it pulled up. I don't see where it's. I don't get it. It's all good though. It is all good because we're gonna keep doing these updates, and that's what this page is for. It's for the updates of dealing with this. Just in case we get a strike, we got more. We got a little bit more room. All right, but the word got to go out. These, this has to be exposed. Man, I cannot find it. It's all good, man. So, Khan, let's go back to. I want to get Jeremiah 49, and I want to start at 7. Right. So he said he's going to cause their own tongue to fall upon themselves, which means they're going to be telling on each other straight up, and that's what we're looking at. Right. You got some people speaking out against it, and you got some people that's for it. Right. And it's going to cause a big ass war, man. Right. But us that's in this faith, we need to have more faith because, hey, it's about to be our reality. You leaving everything, all this stuff, you just getting up one day and leaving it, man. Leaving it at the drop of a dime. Got to be ready for that, man. Hey, and people, you got to be ready to leave them behind. Some people you ain't going to be able to get to. You got to go straight up. All right, so you got that Jeremiah 49 and 7?
Okay. This is Jeremiah 49, verse 7. Concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished?
Right? You hear that? This is the Lord speaking into Esau. He's like, hey, we just read it in Jeremiah where he says, all that wisdom that y'all got, y'all better use it. Now he's telling you for a future prophecy, like, hey, where all that wisdom at? Where all that stuff you had that you was deceiving all the nations with? Because the nations ain't being deceived no more. You deceived them for so long. You even deceived them by bullying them, extortion. But they're not being deceived anymore. That's why he's asking this question. Read it one more time.
Concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished?
And that's a question, a rhetorical question, of course. Go ahead.
Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him.
The time that I will visit him. He says calamities. Man, let's get some of these calamities, right? Salakia. So when it says, and why I'm getting this, when it says Teman to Dedan, like it talks about in Obadiah, and it talks about in Jeremiah right here, that's because Teman is on the top of Edom, and Dedan is at the bottom. So he basically saying all the Edomites. That's all he's saying. All of them. Salakia. Trying to find that in Second Esdras. All right, so I'm gonna bring this out right quick. This is Sirach chapter 5 and 8. It says, "Set not thine heart upon goods unjustly gotten." Right. It says, "For they shall not profit thee in the day of calamity." Right. The day of calamity is coming pretty soon, and the Lord said it's not going to profit you. That's why it's best to just leave all this stuff at the end of the day. Because believe it or not, a lot of this stuff that you got is you got unjustly. Right. Like working jobs, that require you to, shave your beard. You can't wear your fringes. Women can't wear the dresses. That's unjustly goods that you got that from. Right. Well, go ahead.
Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of the Don, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him the time that I will visit him.
Right. Go ahead.
If grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If thieves by night, they will destroy till they have enough.
Right. So that's what he's like. If somebody came to, basically, if somebody came to steal something, if I broke into somebody's apartment, am I going to take literally everything, or I'm going to leave them something behind? I'm going to leave something behind. I'm going to take all the good stuff, but I'm going to leave something behind. Esau, he takes everything. He wants your light bulbs. He wants the carpet. He wants everything in the apartment, in the house, man. But go ahead.
But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places.
Hey, so this is what we're looking at. He said, I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. That means he's being exposed. Esau is being exposed. His own tongue is falling upon himself, right? This new Omicron, we know it's a joke. It's a joke. 800,000 people died in less than 20 days. Less than 20 days. I don't know. One person died from it, though. So where are these people coming from? It's all sorcery and witchcraft, right? Now, the fact that I'm saying that he has been made bare. Go ahead.
And he shall not be able to hide himself.
And he can't hide himself. So we see, like, the stuff that he's doing, he's thinking this is working because the masses of the people are following it. But the ones that have knowledge of it, we're seeing it and we're exposing it through the Spirit of the Most High God. Go ahead.
His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not.
All right, go ahead. Leave
thy fatherless children. I will preserve them alive, and let thy widows trust in me.
Hey, so beautiful. He says, leave thy fatherless children alive. Why he preserved them? Because we need them as slaves, man. That's what he's talking about. And he said, thy widows. Where you think they going? Who you think they going with? Hey, because the Lord, he always say when you go into a nation and you take it over, he said you can take the children and the women as spoil. So this is what the Lord he's saying. Esau, the men gotta go. The mighty men, the scientists, the men that's so-called conscience, they gotta go, man. But he said the fatherless children and the women are gonna be left as spoil. Go ahead.
For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken.
Right, like the Edomites that ain't got nothing to do with it. The poor Edomites that's in our communities with us. He's like, hey, they still got to drink of this cup. Jeremiah had to drink it. Isaiah had to drink it. Ezekiel had to drink it. And they was righteous men, but they still had to drink of that cup. So every single Edomite got to drink of that cup. Go ahead.
And art thou he that should altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it.
Drink of what? All right, let's go to Jeremiah 51. Or is it 50?
Let's see.
Matter of fact, let's go to Obadiah 1 and 18, 1 and 16, I think it is. And I'll get this one in Jeremiah.
All right, this is Obadiah 1, verse 16. It says, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been.
So that's what it's talking about. He says he's going to drink and he's going to swallow down. It's talking about the wrath of the Most High God, and that's what I'm about to get. So, like, yeah. right, Con. So I thought it was Jeremiah. It's Jeremiah 25. I don't see how. But read that one more time.
Obadiah 1 verse 16. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been.
Right. They shall be as though it should not have been. So that's one precept in Obadiah. Right. Now, Jeremiah 25 and 15. For thus saith the Lord God of Israel unto me, take the wine cup of this fury. Right. Fury is anger, hatred. So it says, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand and cause all nations to whom I send thee to drink it. And they shall drink it and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them. Straight up, man. That's what that's talking about. The wrath of the Most High God. When he say drink of this cup, it's talking about his anger. Right? What he's going to do. Right? All the way up into the nukes. Go ahead.
All right, this is Psalms 75, verse 8. For in the hand of the Lord there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture, and he poureth out of the same. But the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them. Ooh. And if you look up dregs, it's the nasty stuff in the bottom of the wine, the chunks. It say you got to take all of that.
he said, no, drink all that. Hey, have you ever seen that a woman do that with her kids? Or you better eat all that. You better drink all that. I ain't buy that for nothing. You better drink all that. Exactly. All right, one more. Let's get one more on that. So this is Revelations 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Yahweh Shah Mashiach is not going to save you. That rapture that you talking about, hey, you're not going to be a part of it. Straight up. If you take this mark, man, if you wander after that beast. Because if you taking the Maxine, bro, you're going to take the chip. They're going to come with these same deceivable lies, man, that made you take that Maxine. If you're falling for that, you're definitely going to fall for the chip. Because you want things to go back to normal in your mind. So they're going to be like, if you take this chip, oh yeah, everything going back to normal. You good. You straight. But you have no idea that's your demise, man. You have no idea. The Lord says you will not be forgiven. You know how the scripture says that you will be forgiven for all manner of things except blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. This is another one you will not be forgiven for. You got to die through thermonuclear destruction. Them nukes literally will have, not literally, but they will have your name written on them. They will have your name written on them if you take that mark. Straight up. All right, so Con, let's go back to Jeremiah now. So, and read that verse one more time so we can get back on track.
What was we at 49?
Yeah, 49. I think it was like 7 or 8. We was at 12.
12. All right, this is Jeremiah 49, verse 12. For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it.
Hey, so now we know what it's talking about, what they're going to drink of. And they're going to drink and they're going to throw down. Like it tells you in Obadiah. Keep going.
For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste.
Right. So it's not talking about literally Basra. It's talking about the people that inhabited Basra. It's talking about Esau, Idumea. Right. Go ahead.
I have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her and rise up to the battle.
Go ahead.
For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men.
Hey, so this is the same thing that it's saying in Obadiah chapter 1. He said, I have made thee small among the heathen. And he said an ambassador is sent. So this is 2 witnesses. Go ahead.
Thy terribleness has deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord.
Hey, so that's going back to Isaiah 47 and 12. Where he says, if you can prosper in it, do it. Thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. All right. I think it's 2 more verses.
Also Edom shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof.
Right. Like it tells you in Revelation chapter 18, where it says that all nations are going to look at it and they're going to say, alas, 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 alas. Right? Hold on. All right. So this is Revelations 18 and 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her. Right? That means cry and mourn and weep for her. Right? When they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So that's what that's talking about. Go ahead.
Verse 18, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it.
This place is not going to ever be inhabited again, man. All right. And you got multiple witnesses speaking about how America is never going to be inhabited after this last destruction. Right. And this poison is leading up into that destruction, man. We're in the final steps. Praise the Most High that there is mandatory vaccination in New York right now. Don't get scared and afraid like it tells you in 2 Ezra 6:15. He tells you not to get afraid. If you get afraid, then your belief system is horrible, and you need to read Sirach chapter 2. Because he says, those that be faint-hearted, he says, woe unto you that is faint-hearted, for you shall not be defended. So in that day, if you get too afraid, the Lord is not going to defend you. He's not going to defend you. You got something, King?
I'm going to put out this Nahum 1 verse 3. It says, the Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. So you can be acquitted in this corrupt ass judicial system, but the Most High got something for you.
For sure. He said, the Most High got something for you. All right, so I got the etymology for. We'll go into that in a second. All right, so now that we got that, out the way, I'm saying that so I can get these examples of what we need to have in these last days, right? Which is faith, right? Faith is it's a lot of faith lessons being done, right, in these last days. A lot of faith lessons you can learn from, but you can never go over faith enough, because these are the days. This is the year where we're gonna see what your faith is about. We're literally about to see what the Most High is about to see what everybody's faith is about. This ain't no game, bro. We talking about you actually looking at the mandatory vaccination. Now it's time for your faith to be tested. Are you going to take it, or are you going to have faith in the Most High? Right? Because everybody claim to have faith, but soon we is going to see how strong that is. Right? All they want you to do is comply. Just take it and you go back to your normal life. It's going to seem that simple, but it's not. It's not that simple. The Lord told you in a law not to bow down to them nor serve them. And we always go into the word bow down. It means to show weakness by agreeing to their demands. Right? So will you still have faith when you have a 48-hour notice on your door because your landlord wants you to get vaccinated? Or whether your job say you got until January 1st to take it, or you get fired. Then things are going in your mind. How are you going to eat? How are you going to work? Where your kids going to sleep? Right? That's where Satan comes in. Satan come in. He going to create those small little problems in your head, and he's going to make them grow and grow. And they're going to get worse. They're going to get worse. Well, where am I going to sleep then? And then after I sleep, how long am I going to sleep there? Is bugs going to be all on me while I'm sleeping? right? Am I going to get devoured by a beast? Is Esau going to catch me? You're going to be coming up with all these things. Satan going to be tapping in, right? But the Lord told you not to fear the imaginations that's against you, because it's going to be Satan coming to you. That's where Satan comes in. Straight up, man. So, hey, your faith is about to be tested. Now, let's get 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and 1. Just get a couple more verses.
God, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 1. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith.
Right. So that's what we're dealing with right now. Nobody has faith. And that's clear. That's why these people are taking the poison. They have no faith. Right? Let's say this pandemic was real. Why the hell are y'all not on your knees praying? Why? Why? You gotta ask yourself that. Right? So, but the fact of the matter, we're living in a time where it's barren of faith, and we're trying to bring our people back to the faith. Right? You believing in this truth is great faith, because the world don't believe in it, obviously. All right, they're saying we're preaching hate crimes, we're doing all this madness, but we're not. Right? Now, you got something, King?
Lie.
All right, Con, let's go to 2 Corinthians 5 and 7. Let's get two simple precepts, man. Classics, but it's going to be needed, man. And why is it going to be needed? Before you get there, let me get this in Isaiah, man. Let's show you why it's going to be needed. These faith scriptures, you looking at it like, man, brothers always go over faith. I ain't worried about faith. I got faith. But you have no idea how much faith you got until the Lord bring forth this destruction. Right? So this is Isaiah 33 and 6. It says, in wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Right? So it says wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of your time. Right? It tells you in Wisdom of Solomon 8 and 20, it says that you're going to be saved through wisdom. So how much are you going to need wisdom? Right? How much are you going to need faith? Let me get this. I think it's 4 and 20. Salakia. Something 18. All right, 9 and 18. Wisdom of Solomon 9 and 18. So we just read, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of your time. What's going to keep you stable in that day? Faith is. You got to have enough wisdom and be knowledgeable to build yourself up more on faith than anything. Bro, we're talking about the mandatory is in America right now. And they're going to start off with all these big states, and they're going to have you surrounded. You already can't lead a country. You better build your faith right now. Right? So Wisdom of Solomon 9 and 18. For so the ways of them which lived on the earth were reformed, and men were taught the things that are pleasing unto thee, and were saved through wisdom. The same wisdom in Isaiah 33 and 6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of your time. This is how you be saved. This is what's going to keep you stable. Faith is going to keep you stable, and you got to have enough wisdom to understand that, though. Enough wisdom and knowledge. Straight up, man. All right, so Khan, let's get that right quick now.
This is 2 Corinthians 5, verse 7. For we walk by faith, not by sight.
Right. So you supposed to walk by faith. Now that we got that, I want to pull this up. All right. I want to get a little bit deeper into it. So it says we walk by faith and not by sight, right? So Khan, let me get this. So right here, it says faith. This is the etymology of faith. It says faithfulness to trust or promise. It says loyalty to a person. And we know this is not a person. This is a deity. You're loyal to the Most High God. That means no matter what happens, you're going to stand next to him. You're going to be loyal to him. You're not going to conform and comply to the society and the beast, right? Straight up. It says confidence. It says belief. You actually believe in the Lord is going to come through. You actually shouldn't be worrying about nothing. You should actually be toasting, celebrating. This is one step closer you getting out of here, right? Belief, trust, confidence, pledge. Like how you pledge allegiance to the flag, you're supposed to make your pledge to the Most High God, man, that you're going to stick by him no matter what, right? Trust, confident, straight up, man. Now let's get these definitions down and then we can continue, right? Because they're good. Where they at? Dang, where'd they go? They have some definitions. Oh, this is a good one. It says meaning, conviction of the truth or a proposition or alleged fact without knowledge. You don't know how you're going to eat. You don't know where you're going to sleep. But this is the meaning of faith. The conviction of the truth. It's the truth. The Bible is the truth. The Bible tell you the Lord said he's going to feed you, right? But you have this without the facts. You can't actually see where the Lord is storing his food for you. You can't actually see these things. This is where faith comes in, right? Because a lot of people going to fold, man. That's just what it is, man. We know this already. And it's going to be some of your favorite leaders are going to fold, man. They're going to fold like a damn lawn chair. Real talk, man. They're going to fold like a lawn chair, right? Now read that one more time, King. I'm going to just keep it on here.
This is 2 Corinthians 5, verse 7. For we walk by faith, not by sight.
We walk by faith and not by sight. We walk by faith and not by sight. Now let's see where faith comes from. Romans 10 and 17, right? The Bible is a jigsaw puzzle. Like it's like playing Tetris. If you ever played Tetris before, or if you ever, completed a jigsaw puzzle, that's what the Bible is, right? And we about to show you. So for 2 Corinthians 5 and 7, we walk by faith and not by sight. Now let's see where this faith comes from.
That was Romans
10 and 17.
10 and 17. All right, this is Romans 10, verse 17. So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God.
Oh, it says faith comes by hearing. You actually hearing these words. You actually hearing these prophecies. You actually hearing what these brothers are bringing out in these articles and these lessons. It's to build up your faith. When it says faith come by hearing, it's actually building up your faith. This is where it comes from. The build of it, right? So faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. These biblical facts, man, that's coming out. This should build your faith, right? You shouldn't be worrying nothing. He tells you that. Hey, Matthew chapter 6. He said, the Lord tell you, hey, focus on the kingdom of heaven and everything else going to take care of itself. Straight up, man. It tells you in Romans chapter 14 that even if you doubt, that's sin. Sorry, right? Chapter 2, that whole chapter is dealing with faith, man. And you being faint-hearted, giving up, right? The Lord says he's not going to defend you. Now, let's continue. Let's go to, let's get an example. Let's go to Mark 11 and 22. Mark 11 and 22.
This is Mark 11, verse 22. And Yahushua answering saith unto him, have faith in God. For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith.
Hey, Lord willing, you caught that before I even have to break it down. Lord willing. But it says, and Yahushua answered and said unto him, have faith in Yahweh, man, your power. He says, for verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed and be cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart. Go to Romans 14 and 23 right quick. It says, you shall not doubt in your heart, but shall believe that those things which he have said come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he said. Right? So you have to believe what you say. Like if you say the Most High got me, this is an example of Yahushua. This is Yahushua's example. I'm gonna give you mine. If you sit here and say, Most High got me. I ain't worried about this. This is going to take care of it. The Lord is going to take care of all this. You have to really believe that. It says without no doubt. Then you will get what you said. That's what it's all about. This is a perfect example of faith, man. Right? This is a perfect example of it. Right? Go ahead.
This is Romans 14, verse 23. And he that doubteth is damned if he eat, because he eateth not of faith.
Right? You hear that? It says, and he that doubteth is damned if he eat, because he eateth not of faith. Straight up, man. If you doubting, like I wish I told you not to doubt. If you doubting, man, you in error. And you not going to get what you've been asking for, what you're praying for. You're not going to get it. Right? One more on this doubt. Go to Revelations 21:7. Right? Let's get one more on that, and then we can continue.
I'm going to finish this one out. For whatsoever is not of faith is sin.
It says what?
For whatsoever is not of faith is sin.
Bro, you in sin if you don't have faith, man. Straight up, when it's mandatory in your city, bro, you in error if you don't have faith in the Most High, man. If you decide to take the jab, man, you was in error. You're in sin because your faith system is horrible. Do you not know the Most High is the one who set up all of this? So you think he can't easily find a way for you to maneuver around this? Nah, it all goes back to your faith, and your faith will be tested, right? And I'm about to get that in the law that your faith will be tested. Our faith was tested once before. It's going to be tested again. But go ahead.
That was Revelation what?
21:7 and 8.
This is Revelation 21, verse 7. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son.
Go ahead.
But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
So you hear that? He said unbelievers. And if you look right here on this etymology, right? Belief goes into faith, man. Belief, trust goes into faith, man. And he tell you whatsoever is not of faith is sin. And he tells you through John, the Revelator, in Revelations 21:8, you can go in a lake of fire for being an unbeliever, man. Right? And I got a quick precept for that. Sirach 2:13. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, right? That likes to give up. For he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended. Lord is not going to help you, man. You're going to die out here with the same imaginations that you're thinking. The Lord told you, he commanded you, fear not the imaginations against you. But you know what people going to do? They still going to fear the imagination that's against them. Faith is just horrible, man. Faith is just horrible, right? So go to let's get Deuteronomy chapter 8. Let's get this last example, and then we're gonna get this Romans. All right, so we're gonna Deuteronomy 8:1. Like I said, I'm getting in the law because the Lord did it once before. He's gonna do it again. The Lord does not change.
This is Deuteronomy 8, verse 1. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do, that ye may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers.
Right. If you want the land, keep the commandments. If you want the promised land, keep the commandments. Now, are you justified? Are you going to get salvation because of the commandments? No, it's about faith. But the Lord still wants you to follow his commandments, man. Go ahead.
And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy God led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no.
Hey, and that goes into what's about to happen pretty soon. The Lord is going to humble you, and he's going to prove you whether you want to keep his commandments or no. All right, go ahead.
And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord doth man live.
Hey, so verse 3 is the point, the context. He says, and he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger. The Lord had them out there starving just to see what they was going to do, see if they was going to turn their back on him. And he says, he fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know. It says that he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread only, right? Because you have to eat to survive. But it says, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord doth man live, right? And you know what that goes into? That goes into faith. You actually believe in, even if the Lord don't feed you for that small period of time, you actually believing that the Lord is still with you. Because a lot of people are going to be like, man, I'm hungry. I ain't ate in 3 days. The Lord ain't with me. I might as well go to the FEMA camp and eat. They're going to feed me immediately. That's the law. It tells you got to live. That's what it's talking about when it says man shall not live by bread alone. It's talking about faith. You having faith in the Most High. Food is not what's keeping you alive. It's the faith in the Most High that's keeping you alive. That's what that's going into. Right? So knowing that this is in the law, we have to keep the law. Now let's go to Romans chapter 3 and 30.
This is Romans 3, verse 30. Seeing it is one God which shall justify the circumcision by faith and uncircumcision through faith.
Right. So the same God, the Gentiles and the Jews, right? The Gentiles, which is still Israelites. I believe it's Ephesians chapter 2 or Galatians chapter 2. I believe it's Ephesians chapter 2, right? That middle wall partition between the Jews and the Gentiles, right? So it's one God, right, which is going to justify the circumcision by faith and the uncircumcision through faith, right? Man doth not live by bread alone, but by every word to the Most High God, and it's all through faith, right? Keep going.
Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law.
Right. So even though we got all this faith, no matter what, we still have to keep the law, statutes, commandments. You have to. Don't try to snatch off your fringes just because things is mandatory and you don't want to get seen with your fringes on. You don't want to be known as a Hebrew Israelite because that goes into your faith too. If the Lord don't want them to touch you, they ain't going to touch you, bro. They're not going to do nothing to you if the Lord don't want them to. And that's facts. Right? So let's get 2nd Ezra 9 and 7. Matter of fact, let's get 2nd Ezra 16 and 17, and then we'll get 2nd Ezra. These will be the last two precepts.
All right, this is 2nd Ezra 16, verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come?
Keep going. We just broke this down, so we're gonna kind of skim through this. It's talking about the Lord sending these plagues to try to get you to change your ways, but the people are not going to change their ways. Keep going.
Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges.
All right, go ahead.
Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth.
Right, so victuals goes into food. When you see food getting like just dirt cheap, it's because they want you to buy all the food so they can go into a famine. That's what Esau is going to do. He's going to make everything cheap, and he's not going to restock on nothing. He's just going to let you buy everything out. In the next go around, when you have to go grocery shopping, you're going to have to come get it from a FEMA camp. Go ahead.
That they shall think
you're going to have to prove proof of machination. Go ahead.
That they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow up on earth, sword, famine, and great confusion.
Great confusion. This is what we're looking at right now. It's great confusion. This is confusing as hell. What y'all gonna do? This is year 2, and y'all still ain't implemented this? That's confusion. What's going on? Go ahead.
For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
This is what we leading up to. This is the people against people, right? The people killing other people because they hungry, man. Or just because the course of their action is standing in their power. They got the gun, they gonna kill you and take your food, take your goods, whatever they have, first aid kit, whatever you got on you. Go ahead.
And the dead shall be cast out of dung.
Right, like when you take a shit, you don't go back and pick it up. Some people, they get a bag and they pick it up, but for the most part, if your dog has his own field, you're not gonna go pick that up. You're gonna let the sun dry it up, and you're gonna let the rain wash it out. Go ahead.
And there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down.
It says the cities shall be cast down. This goes into what I wanted to show. I wanted to show this, man. It says the city shall be cast down, right? So, matter of fact, let me get this Isaiah 24, and then we can play that. So this is Isaiah chapter 24, and 10. Isaiah 24 and 10. It says the city of confusion is broken down. What does Babylon go back to? It goes back to Babel, which goes back to confusion. That's what it means. Confusion, Babylon, Babel. It says the city of confusion is broken down. Every home is shut up. That's going into military martial law. Everybody happen to stay inside their homes. It says that their houses is shut up. That means stay in your damn house. It says that no man may come in, right? Don't let nobody come in. Don't let nobody go out, right? It says there is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened and the mirth of the land is gone. All that having fun, partying, going to the clubs, going to parades, all that's going to be done with pretty soon, right? So it says that the houses will be shut up. That's the point. That's the fact of the matter. Now, I don't know if you've seen this movie, so I'm going to just play the preview of this movie. But this is as close. This is, man, so on point that you won't, like, this movie is so on point, bro. You got to go see this movie. And I'm just going to play the preview so that you can go watch this movie. Straight up, go watch this movie because they're showing you exactly what's going to happen in the next year or two.
Good morning, Miss Garcia.
Good morning, sunshine. I miss you. I could kiss you right now.
Sunday.
Curfew is now in effect.
You hear that? They said curfew is now in effect. That's what they're doing around the world, even America. There was a curfew, right? Where you had to stay in the house.
Authorized citizens must stay indoors.
Tensions rise as we enter the 213th week of lockdown.
Grim new reality emerges.
COVID-23 has mutated.
Why are they calling it that? Why are they calling it? We dealing with 19, but then you have a 23. And then look at all these tents and the homeless people, right? Look at the streets. This is how America's going to look pretty soon, man.
Lockdown.
Grim new reality emerges.
COVID-23 has mutated.
Beginning thermal scan. Thermal scan normal.
A horrifying new development
New
today.
data confirms the virus attacks the brain tissue.
Whoa! I'm immune!
Worldwide death toll rises to over 110 million.
All infected Americans are being forced into quarantine camp.
You hear that? They're all being forced into quarantine camp. This is what this movie is, bro. You should go watch this movie. But all of these people are being put in the same place, crammed up like sardines, man. They look like sardines out here. They look like a whole bunch of muck and trash, and this is how they're going to do they're going to do you like this pretty soon. Lord willing, not you, but this is how they're going to do the masses of the people.
Sarah, what's going on?
Department of Sanitation.
Sarah, talk to me.
I think my neighbor has a fever.
It'll be so much easier if you just open the door. Mrs. Grant, you have visitors.
Sir, do not open that door.
Beginning thermal scan. 3, 2, 1. Anomaly detected. Our guards will be.
Hey, so one thing for sure, you see they detected the grandma. I will give you 1 point in the movie. So 1 point in the movie is every single day that they had to test, just like they doing now today. You have to do a weekly testing at your job to prove that you don't have, the poison. That's what they're doing in this movie. Every single day, everybody had to stay inside of their homes and they have to do a test every single day, proving that you do not have this virus. And if you don't do the test, they send the Department of Sanitation, the guards, and they take you to a FEMA camp. If you do not do the test, or if you test positive, they come and get you and they take you to the camp. Bro, they about to do this pretty soon. That's what this door-to-door vaccination is about. They're setting it up. Whoever made this movie, he know exactly what's going on.
Beginning thermal scan. 3, 2, 1. Anomaly detected. Our guards will be arriving in 4 to 6 hours. You must not attempt to leave your home, or you will be shot on sight.
You hear that? They say you better not leave your home or you're going to be shot on sight.
This is my message to you. I know you're in there.
They're coming to let you go.
No. Sarah! Sarah!
Say goodbye to me.
Sarah, I'm not letting you give up. This is my message.
Sometimes we have to do things we don't want to survive.
I'm trying to save the one person left in my life that matters to me. I can't help you.
Hey, that's enough on that. But at the end of the day, man, you should go watch that movie, man. So it's a very interesting movie dealing with what's going on in today's society. I've never seen a movie so on point, other than like Book of Eli or I Am Legend. But I ain't never seen a movie so on point like this movie. All right, and it's called Songbird. You still there, Out?
God.
All right, Con. So let's get back to the scripture.
Let's see. We was at
2nd Ezra chapter 16, and we was at 23.
God.
Let's read 23 again.
And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down.
So cities being cast down is talking about that, everything like we just seen in that movie, right? Like all these buildings, these restaurants, all that, they're going to have boards on the windows. They're going to be vacant, man. They're going to be cast down. And then we read in Isaiah 24, the people going to be shut up inside of their homes, right? Go ahead.
There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it.
Right? There's going to be, and we don't do, certain men, they don't do that no more. That's why they work at Highland factories, dealing with dairy. They go to, there is some farmers that still work at these, that still till the ground and do that. But we're in a more advanced time to where, they're using machines to do this. These men are going to be put to death, right? Go ahead.
The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them?
Right?
The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men.
All places shall be desolate of men. Because even though you take this poison, it's either the poison going to kill you or Esau going to come through and kill you anyway. Go ahead.
So that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice.
Ooh, and shall not be able. Right? It's going to be that vacant. It's going to be that desolate around here. Right? Go ahead.
For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks.
Right. So that's going into a more advanced time. That's talking about you hiding in apartment complexes, hospitals, restaurants, right? Or even the woods. Right? People are going to be hiding everywhere. And through the thick groves is symbolic for you hiding behind things. Straight up, man. Like it tells you in Isaiah 66 that people hide, they hide behind certain things in the garden in the midst, eating swine's flesh. Right? You're not talking about literally hiding in the garden. It's talking about you hiding in restaurants eating it. You hiding in your own home eating it. So it's symbolic, right? So now let's go back to the 9th chapter and start at 7, and then we close out.
God, this is 2nd Ezra 9 verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed.
Hey, so this is the only way you're going to be able to escape these terrible times that we're coming upon. Faith and by your works. So that means you got to put in work, man. You're not about to be able to just sit around and do nothing and think the Lord is going to deliver you. That's not happening. There's work to be done. Yahweh said that in John chapter 4. He says, say not that let me just get it before I slaughter it. You can hold that, King. I'll get it.
Okay.
So this is John chapter 4 and 34. It says, Yahweh said unto them, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me and finish his work. Right? That should be all of our, our objective. That should be all of our meat, because man don't live by bread alone. Right? It says, say not ye, there are yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest. Right? Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are white already to harvest. He like, hey, they ready to go. The people are ready to be awakened, and that's why we're awakening in such mass numbers. You have to put in your 2 cents. You have to put in what you've been learning, right? You have to bring that forth, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? You're not about to be a great man in the kingdom and nobody knows you, bro. That's not happening. It's not happening like that. It's just not going to happen like that, man. Right? But continue.
And by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils.
Right? Shall he be preserved from the said perils. Right? You and your household, man. Lord willing. Right? Because the wife can't go out and do the work. So she has to depend on you. The children have to depend on you. They all depending on you. If you sitting around doing nothing and they die, it's your fault. You think the Lord gonna go holler at them? No. It's your job. Right? Go ahead.
And shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
All right, go ahead. So it says you'll be preserved from the said perils, right? The perilous times that's coming. Right, go ahead.
Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways. And they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments.
And that's what we're looking at, man. Even dealing with this machination, bro, you're going to be dealing in torments, man. Eventually, it's going to do something to you. We don't know. We just sit back watching. But it's going to do something to you. Right? Even if it's nanotechnology building you up for the chip, it's still doing something to you, because you ain't supposed to have nanotechnology in your body. That goes in software, man. It don't go in your body. But go ahead.
For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me.
Right, like the Lord put it on Esau to let you go out of chattel slavery. That's a benefit, right? And so forth, benefits, housing projects, food stamps. These are all benefits, right? Go ahead.
And they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty.
Right, and loathe goes into hate. So it says you hated his law. The scoffers and the people that reject the law, statutes, commandments, and they run straight to Paul, he's talking to you. Go ahead.
And when as yet place of repentance was upon them, understood not, but despised it. The same must know it after death by pain.
Right. So the same must know it after death by pain. That's dealing with the lake of fire, because you're still going to be resurrected to see if you go into the lake of fire, if you walk into the kingdom. Right. Now read the next verse.
And therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is and for whom the world is created.
Straight up, man. That's what we're supposed to be worrying about. And that's what we worrying about. I'm not worrying about my mama, my daddy, and my uncles and cousins because they not in his word. I'm worrying about you who watching the videos. That's what we worrying about. That's why we do these videos. We're not worrying about our worldly family, right? Yahweh already told us who our new family is, right? These are, Lord willing, y'all the ones who we're going to be in the kingdom toasting with Yahweh. So that's who we worrying about. So the Lord told us not to worry, and he's talking to you too. Don't worry about the people that's in the world, the family members that just don't get it. Don't worry about them. Only worry about the ones that do understand. Straight up, man. That's what we have to worry about. So you got to keep the faith in these last days, man. There's a mandatory vaccination in New York City, and it's about to spread, just like they say the so-called Omicron is spreading. Right? You got something else, King?
La.
God, man. Hey, so Lord willing, man, somebody was edified with that lesson. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Wamalak, Yahweh Shah, for giving me the spirit and power to do this lesson, for giving us the spirit and power to do this lesson, man. Shalom, Wabrak, Mashpaka.
Shalom.